Man, it has been a rough week for me, probably for most of you as well, I'm sure, with all this outbreak stuff. I'm still not clear if I get demonetized for using the word, so I'm going to refrain from doing so, but you know what I'm talking about. Many are cooped up in their homes, and more businesses are shutting down to avoid spreading this virus. But you know one business that won't shut down? GameStop. If you work at a GameStop, you best be ready to clock in while the world burns down around you, because GameStop is declaring that they are an essential retail store, as in they believe it is vital to your survival, to the survival of the human race during these trying times, that their stores remain open, because they provide people with necessities. And the quote necessities they list on here, oh, what a joke. Because obviously they're not going to list games, because that would make them look even more stupid than they already do. So no, we're talking about items like webcams, microphones, mice, keyboards, monitors, chargers, audio equipment, and more, of course more. I'm sure much more. I was actually surprised to not see Funko Pops on the list. I mean, what if there's some new rare Chase variant that releases during this time? I mean, where are the trendy nerds gonna buy it? That's real shit. God, there's just so much to tear into here. I don't even know where to start. First, actually, I'd love for people to sound off in the comments and let me know the last time you even bought any of these things listed. Let's say all these things are vital, they're very important. When's the last time you bought a mouse, charger, monitor, whatever, at a GameStop? Even when I used to frequent GameStop, I never bought any of this except for, like, I guess chargers, but those were chargers for, like, my DS and 3DS. That's it. Even if you were in a position during this time where you had to buy one of these things, who of all of you feels they would need to go to a GameStop to get these items? Like, you don't think you could get them anywhere else. Like myself, I'm going to Best Buy today, which carries a lot of these items, and I'm going there to pick up Animal Crossing and Doom, video games, which is what GameStop actually sells. Now, something like Best Buy, I could see staying open to some extent if things get bad, with like a skeleton crew, because they've got pretty much all these electronics, but also things like appliances. Now, those are things that I could see as actually essential, like, you know, refrigerators, stoves, and that. Many restaurants are shutting their doors entirely, pretty much, at least around me now. The only thing you can get is like takeout. You can't even eat in a restaurant. And if you end up in a couple days, maybe a few weeks, with no places around you to eat and your fridge dies, you're going to need to get another one immediately. Anything with food, that's obviously an essential item. So GameStop is obviously stretching as much as possible to justify staying open. Since this hit social media, people have been letting them know how stupid it is, putting their employees in danger. I actually, from what I understand, they've been doing pretty good business right now. I guess there probably are a lot of people stocking up on games if they inevitably get locked down. But yeah, once lockdowns start to go into effect, you're not even going to have people coming into the store. And I think as the number of cases continues to build, people are just going to be looking to cut out more and more public spaces. People aren't going to want to go out more than they have to. And GameStop, I think, will definitely be on the chopping block. So I don't think it'll be long until they're doing very little business. You know, like grocery stores, those are being packed because, you know, people are stocking up in case they have to stay home for a long period. That'll last for a while, but I do not think the foot traffic will be similar for GameStop. So, why would they do this? Well, if you watch the video I did last week about Reggie joining their board of directors, which I will say, Reggie, this is not a good look, being attached to this company right now. But yeah, if you watch that video, if you follow GameStop lately, you know they are in full-on desperation mode. They have been for a while. Their stock price was plummeting before this outbreak began. I'm sure this isn't going to help them, as it's killing every other retailer as well. They tried to sell the company cheap, no one wanted it, so the higher-ups clearly want to try and get any crumb of profit they can during this time to keep the company from going under. Given the way things were going for them again before this started, I could see them shutting their doors soon after this blows over, or even during it. They're not going to want to keep paying for store spaces. Employees, certainly that's the main focus of all the outcry over this. They don't want to pay people to sit at home waiting for this to be over. You got to get in there, you plebs, and If someone coughs on you, just dodge it, okay? Don't be a casual. Also, don't touch anything ever at any point during your workday. What's so hard about that? If you haven't, you guys should be checking the GameStop Reddit. Fantastic right now. One, there are just plenty of great memes showcasing how inept those running the show are. But obviously, there are a lot of disgruntled employees over there dumping all sorts of info about what's really going on. I particularly like this letter that allegedly was sent out from corporate telling employees to dispute with the police if they try to enforce closures on their stores. So police roll up, say, hey, it's government ordered that you close, and you have to be there like, nuh-uh, our game store is an essential business. I'm sure you GameStop employees are getting paid so much money that having your job description include fighting with the police is totally worth it. I'm sure that's going to be a fun time. I want to make it clear that these employees are who myself and probably most everyone else covering the subject are concerned with. I've made it no secret that I'm not a fan of GameStop in recent years, but that doesn't mean I want these people to be put in this situation. Doesn't mean I'm happy that if the stores do end up closing permanently, that they'd be out of a job. Similar to issues we see with how devs are treated at big game studios, you can be for the employee and against the employer. I've seen from a lot of comments on social media that seems to be a hard concept for people to understand, so I want to make sure that's clear. Because yeah, I think this is just another thing that is going to accelerate the demise of GameStop. I don't think they're going to come out of this situation without being heavily scathed, not just by the outbreak, but now this info about them staying open. A lot of people I see on social media saying they're not going to frequent GameStop anymore, and like I said in that video about GameStop's position last week, it's not like you don't have alternatives. So I still believe it won't be long until their stores are packed with people taking advantage of their going out of business sales. Hopefully it's not while this outbreak is at its peak. And before I close, if you are someone who works at GameStop or any other business that remains open, hopefully if you work somewhere else, it's something that is actually essential, especially like the health industry. If you're a doctor or nurse, like Jesus, I couldn't even imagine doing something like that right now. I saw a story that there are some retired nurses and doctors coming out of retirement to help at hospitals and stuff right now. Like, you want to talk about some serious badasses. That's just insane to me. But yeah, anyone out there still working, be smart, be safe, and same to the patrons. If you're the one going, let's say, to the grocery store, don't be an idiot. I was just at Sam's Club yesterday, and this lady was clearly sick in front of me at the self-checkout, and she's doing the thing where she blows her nose into a Kleenex and then proceeds to wipe her nose and face immediately after with her hand, and then just goes on to touch the machine, the little scanner, all that. Like, come the hell on. Just try not to act like idiots out there. All I'm saying. Anyway, with that, this video's a wrap. Let me know your thoughts about GameStop remaining open during this viral outbreak in the comments. Do you think a game store should be classified as an essential retailer? Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed this discussion of GameStop's latest stupidity. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing, and if you want to keep the conversation going, hit me up on Twitter at JohnnyZakari, and join my Discord, Shy Guy and Friends, link to both in the description below. And as always, thanks for watching.